This is a Lycia Tarot, one of the most popular decks on the internet, and it's one of my favorite ones too. I use it pretty much daily. And this, it's poor cousin, or a fake cousin I should say, that I bought on AliExpress for about $5 American. In this video, I want to show you the difference between the two, so you can make a decision whether you want to buy one of these in the future. Hey, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, I'm Jay, and this is Lunaco Tarot, where I bring you weekly tarot and oracle deck reviews to inspire readings, with the help of Dr. Kotniko over there, who, because it's so difficult to do things by yourself. The original deck, or the real deck, comes in a really nice box, and the counterfeit one looks like a cigarette pack, and not the best looking cigarette pack. You see something interesting here? The author name is missing on the counterfeit deck. And also, if here it says that it's a 78 card deck and a guidebook, this one doesn't really tell you that. And that's because there isn't the guidebook in here. Now, if you look at the boxes, you can tell pretty much straight away that there is something weird going on with colors. If this deck is sort of turquoise blue, this one's got a bit of a greeny and faded green kind of feel to it. And just looking at other interesting elements here, there's no barcode here, but there's a QR code. And if you go to the link on this, if you scan it with your phone, it'll get you to this website here. And I don't know exactly who looks after it, but it's basically a collection of this somewhat poorly scanned PDF files that are guidebooks for different decks. And I don't know if it's this manufacturer that just creates them and puts them there, or it's just like a one pirated website with all the decks that you can find on AliExpress or some other websites. Another interesting thing here is that this does not tell you anything about age 14 plus. There's a bit of a parental guidance going on here. When the original deck, there isn't anything here. Other than that, I mean, that's a lot, but other than that, the boxes look similar. There's no Hay House logo here as well, for obvious reasons. Let's have a look what's inside of these. And if you have one of these decks, you probably know it already, but let's just do a little overview. Well, you got a guidebook with the original deck, and it's quite a good one for a little white book. It's thick, it's got all the suits, and also has a reverse meaning too, with an affirmation, which I quite like. This book is really all you need to start reading. But if you know RWS, this is one of the best decks out there that is very modern, and it's got very relevant photos and images on it that can help you read intuitively if you really want to. Now, what you get with the fake one, of course there isn't a guidebook, but I just want to show you the box. This is super thin, and there's almost no weight to it, right? Where here you got a proper box, and yeah, you feel like you actually got something valuable in your hands. When it comes to the cards, these are quite thin, but this is where I got a little bit surprised with what I saw. So the original deck card thickness is 0.435 millimeter, right? And which is expected. And some people complain about quality of these cards. I don't find them bad at all. I think they're pretty good. Maybe riffle shuffle is a bit of a challenge, but other than that, it's good. Now these measures 0.293, let's say 0.3. And you can probably say this is more of a pocket version of the deck, right? Because the cards are quite small. But let's compare it to a real pocket version deck. This is the Wild Unknown from Kim Trance. Smaller cards, as you can see. And this measures 0.320. So these cards are a bit thicker, even for the pocket version, but that's what really caught me by surprise. These are not bad, and I'm not suggesting we go and buy fake decks, but I was just surprised that the quality wasn't as bad as I expected it to be, judging by the quality of the box. Now, let's have a look at this side by side. One of the things that you see quite often with fake decks like this, and I had a few, just bought them with a bulk haul that I have. If you're interested, you can have a look at the video I'm going to put on the screen where I bought 15 decks for $100, and I got a whole bunch of fake decks with it, by the way. What I found is that quite often, because they reformat the cards, you lose quite a bit of the original card image. I did not find this here for some strange reason, and if anything, in some cases I saw even more. You see that here? This bit here has got an extra like a element to it, looks almost like a tower, where here it's been cut off. Magician card, the color are very similar. I think this one is a little bit paler, but if you look very closely, the counterfeit deck looks pretty much on par with the original one. And you can even see small elements in the back here. So they done an okay job with copying the original deck. And I'm not sure if they use the digital images or they just scan the original images. You can see all the runes that's still intact, and in fact you have an extra element here. So it's almost like the original deck is not the one that they use for a copy. It's almost like they got hold of another version of this deck when they had more images, I guess, on the cards. That's the only explanation I have to this. I found it quite strange, but it's not always the case though. Like here, for instance, you see that the hair here and there is not complete. You get like a little arch, a little arc here with a tiny little blue ball. But other than that, yeah, and probably here as well, you get a bit more. Other than that, these look very, very similar. And it gets quite scary. I think if these guys decided to invest a little bit more, they could have probably produced a deck that would look almost identical, right? The question is though, would it still cost the same? Look at this one here as well. You see how there's a, like this element is almost not there, it looks like a shade. Here it's actual like a spike or tower. And that's what really puzzled me. The other counterfeit decks that I have seen, they weren't anywhere near what we're seeing here. Same here as well. See, this is an extra element here. It's almost like the original deck did not have enough space to fit the whole picture. So a little bit strange, and maybe you know why it is the case, but it looks like this is actually quite a workable copy. But it's not all perfect. There's like a little defect here, and you cannot call the customer support or return the deck because you know where we got it from, right? And I'll show you the final card. So here, this is the opposite. The image here is being cut because the wheel, the L here, goes all the way here. With here, it's been cut off. Other than that, I would say there isn't anything else to tell about this deck. If you got one of these and you put them next to each other, you would know that you're looking at least a different version of a deck. But if you're looking at the box, you know what you're dealing with here. So how do you tell if you got yourself a counterfeit deck? First of all, you're not going to have any publishers mentioned here, like you saw it's been completely wiped off. If you search for this deck online, you would find a different version of the box. The text is modified obviously, but these QR codes, I've seen them pretty much on all of them, and I think it's because the publishers, manufacturers, I guess probably a better word, they trying to cut cost as much as possible, and they will not include anything extra. And colors, yeah, it's a bit odd. If you want to see another video I made, the Starman Tarot, that one was a very different deck. But this one, I would say that if it didn't include this cheap looking box and they had a guidebook, and I didn't know anything about anything about Lycia Tarot, I would think that this is probably a pocket version of this deck. So there you have it, quite an interesting outcome. I did not expect that. I still think we should not be buying counterfeit decks just because still the packaging is terrible, you're investing in something that helps some shady businesses, and also the experience of reading tarot is becoming a little bit tarnished with everything like that. What do you think of this? Have you ever bought a counterfeit deck without knowing about it? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're interested, have a look at my Starman real versus fake video I did a while back. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.